Good afternoon and welcome to our weekly live play of Green Ronin's Blue Rose RPG, a fantasy RPG by our friends at Green Ronin. I'm Bryan F. Irving, I'll be your Games Master. I'm with Gethsemane Games and DH9 Radio. The game itself by Green Ronin you can find on their website at greenronin.com, and some of the maps we'll be using today you can find on ours. That's gethsemanegames.com. Okay, so we're a man down today as Shaun's been taken ill at fairly short notice. So let me just introduce our slightly reduced cast. Patrick.
Hello, I'm Patrick. I'm playing an enemy, sometimes going by Barnacle.
Indeed. And Louise.
Hello, I'm Louise. I'm playing Myval, a very sarcastic raccoon who loves food and has a new picture if you open their character sheet.
Oh, okay. I'm going to have to do that because I haven't seen the new picture. So let's just open the
You have?
Have I? Oh, yes, I
was
have.
the one that we saw the shows earlier.
Yes, it's the one you generated earlier, of course. Silly me, so I have seen it.
DALL-E 2 have let me into their beta test, so now all of the things.
Okay, so just to bring you all up to speed, the party are playing members of a shore party from Her Majesty Chanterelle, a charting ship that's been set the job of charting the Stars Reach archipelago to correct some, I can't even speak today, correct some of the obvious errors that are developing in the charts as things geographically have changed slightly since the originals were made. However, one of the other ships in the flotilla, the Diamantina, discovered an entire island that has never been charted. An island, in point of fact, that you can't even see unless you get within a fairly short range of it. It just seems not to appear at all and then just snaps into existence out of nowhere. On encountering this island, the Diamantina was attacked by pirates, by monsters of sea and air, and eventually by a very destructive storm which also caught up their sister vessel that plays characters, the Chanterelle. The Diamantina was sunk. The Chanterelle saved as many as they could and have progressed onto the island themselves to try and investigate it and find out what's happening. On the island, the party have so far found a partially sunken temple to the Sea Lord that seems to be missing some vital pearls. They've found sea caves with giant clams in them, the source of the pearls, and have now captured some of these pearls from the merrow that haunt those sea caves, thinking of taking them back to repair the temple. Also, while on the island, they've discovered the source of the invisibility was a tainted artifact in a lighthouse. They've now destroyed the tainted artifact and dealt with the ghost in the lighthouse. They've encountered the pirates several times, and I think I've covered just about it. Oh yes, and you've discovered a part of the island where there is a strange barrow mound with some mysteriously locked magical doors, for which they keep finding the various segments of the keys that will open them. So, where we left you last, you'd recently just managed to fight off the merrow in the sea caves with the assistance of the water spirit from the temple. So I'm just going to take you over to that. I think that would be this map here. Let me just take a quick look. Yes, it was. So we left you where Sailor Moon had been critically injured during the fight with the merrow. You've managed to drive them both off with the assistance of the water spirit, but she has a severe wound to the back of the head and neck from one of their coral-studded maces. seaman Storm having dragged her out from the water where she was lying face down after the blow. Young Roger, one of your sailors, is also very, very badly injured. Myval's taken a few wounds as well. You've had quite a bit of a kicking from these creatures, actually. So, you have captured, however, 3 of the 4 missing pearls from the temple. What would you like to do?
We need to get more pearls.
Yeah, we do.
Not just for the 4, but what I would quite like to do is to get at least one. I know we've got the misshapen one, which will have some value to it, but for all of the people who've been injured, I'd like to get at least one more so that they can all have a share in the proceeds as some form of compensation.
Okay. Bear in mind these things are huge.
Yes.
Remember, they actually so big they actually affect your
movement speed
as you have to roll them up the ground.
Yeah.
I think if we can get one more than we need for the temple, then when that one is sold, everybody who has been injured and adversely affected by this expedition will get an amount.
Okay.
What do you think, Louise?
I agree, but I also think we definitely should make sure we leave it at just 1 extra.
Yes.
We shouldn't get greedy.
Oh no. This would be stealing from the Sea Lord, effectively.
Okay, so I love the way that you have one of your NPCs is actually dying from her wounds, and your first thought is, nick some more shit for compensation.
Hang on. The very last thing that I did at the end of the last session was to heal her.
Yeah, but you did that after we called an end to the session, so I did mention that you should do it again at the start of this one.
I don't recall that. But your word is final.
It is, yes.
So you want me to re-roll my successful healing roll?
No, just narrate it. I think I'll keep the roll you actually made. It seems a shame to waste a roll. But if you would like
immediately attending Sailor Moon and performing triage and to staunch the bleeding, to support the coral protruding from it. You know, if it can't be removed, because often removing things from a wound will cause further damage.
It can,
than just leaving it there and kind of binding around it until we can deal with it in more reasonable surgical surroundings. We'll get her stabilised and immediately back to the Chanterelle.
Okay, so you're sending her back to the Chanterelle with some of the NPCs, presumably, yeah? Okay, so you managed to get her stabilised. I did think that you probably didn't have the magical healing on hand to spare at the moment. So you get her stabilised. Some of the other seamen take a turn at sort of trying to bandage wounds on young Roger as well. And eventually, once you're fairly confident that they're going to survive, you construct a... I forgot what we call them now.
Stretcher? Litter?
That's the one, stretcher, yeah. Oh, litter. Okay. And send... So which of the other seamen are you sending back with the injured, or are you just sending all the NPCs back at this point?
Oh, no reason to send everybody back. Right. In what state is young Roger? Is he capable of attending to Sailor Moon?
I mean, not really. He's got...
Okay, so if
very little health left. He's very, very badly injured. A severe cold would finish him off at this point.
Right, I'll square him up as well.
Okay.
Isn't Roger out of the sea folk as well?
He's not blue on the token.
Okay.
I don't think it's Roger that's the sea folk. Let's see now. So you have 3. You've given Roger back there. There you go. Yeah, he's still in a pretty bad way. Multiple wounds from the blows. You've managed to splint his broken wrist, but the wrist remains broken.
Interestingly, those are both NPCs I can control. So is Storm. In which case, we'll send them back with the NPC that Shaun controls.
Which was Harold, I think, wasn't it?
Yeah, for OOC logistics.
Okay, we can do that. Although since Harold's been with you from the start, he asks if you would consider sending some of the new faces back instead, and he'll stay.
Oh. Okay.
Sounds fair to me.
Yeah. It's just that way we've got a character we actually have some investment with, stays with you, while the 3 guys you only rescued recently.
Well, I take that on board, absolutely. The guys we rescued were very characterful and shot at me. And
they did.
I would say, they are as fully realised as any.
Right, okay, well, it's up to you.
But Seaman Harold has said that, and I know Seaman Harold, so fair enough.
Yeah, okay. Oh, hello, what was that? Oh, look, some new settings that I haven't played with. Anyway, so Harold will stay with you. Storm and Roger will head back with Sailor Moon, who's quite badly injured. Okay, so pressing on then. You're going to start looking for some more. Okay, so with the threat now sent away from you, chased out of the caves by yourselves and the water elemental spirit, you have a great deal more time to investigate the other clams. It's not long before you find one of the pearls, but the other thing you've also found is a second of the keys.
Ah.
So
right.
These bizarre pieces of metal that you keep finding.
This is what I was concerned about. That if we don't open all of these clams, we could miss key pieces.
I mean, you've no idea where the other keys are, so it is a reasonable worry, isn't it?
Two of them have been in clams, which is more than we've seen in any other place.
Yeah.
In which case, I want to go and talk to the water elemental.
Okay, you may do so.
That could be a plan. Is that mostly to stop me from eating all of the clams?
Well, you eating the clams isn't a problem, unless the water elemental takes objection to it. Then we have a problem.
We actually do have another 2 problems that you don't know about yet, but you will be able to infer their existence by what I'm about to say next.
There is there.
So could I have a saving throw from an enemy, please? I need intelligence. No, I don't. I need willpower, self-discipline.
Ooh. Well, I invested in purity last time. So just willpower.
Okay. That's an 11, so you've passed, you're fine. Myval, could I have a stamina constitution, please? Sorry, a constitution stamina saving throw, please.
Okay.
Oh, hang on. Are we being targeted by some pirate mojo?
Okay.
Have I got are these clams poisonous?
No, but there's a huge quantity of them, and the piece of art you've just sent me of Myval is of them sitting inside one of the clams, just cramming it into their face. So I was testing to see if you overate and made yourself sick. However, an enemy, you keep, as you are prizing these clams open, you find by the time you found the next pearl, you keep thinking to yourself, just one more, just one more.
Ah, right, got you.
Yes, I know we said we'd only have the one, but if I just keep looking, I mean, we could all be rich. We could be rich. However, you seem to be getting control of yourself, because you're past the target savings or level.
Mm-hmm.
So you do seem to be going, no, I promised just the one. We promised only the one.
It is amazing how just asking for a couple of rolls will trigger off narrative possibilities in the minds of the player.
Indeed, or panic, as I like to call it.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that I'm aiming for panic, it's just that I did notice that seemed to be what happened there. Okay, so you're now talking to the...
yes.
I'm just going to move these, because I've just realised that those Merrill are still on this layer, which makes it look as if they're coming back. So
When you said
Games Master layer.
When you said that we had 2 problems, it was like there and there. I thought it was the 2 mirror.
Ah, right, no.
Well,
you have 99 problems, but a secret ain't one. Or 2, indeed 2.
I approached the elemental reverentially and explained the situation that we have, as well as the pearls that we need to restore the temple, we have been finding pieces of a key that we need to open another location. Would you have any objection? Would the Sea Lord have any objection to us continuing to open these clams to see if there are other key pieces there that we might take? We could then close the clams and leave them with their pearls intact.
Okay, so his answer's going to very much depend upon how much he knows about what the keys open. So let me just find out what he knows about what the keys open. So that will be an intelligence law. Excuse me. Intelligence law test. Intelligence doesn't have law, so his target number is going to be 13. What did he get? 10. Right. Okay, so that's a fail on the part of the water elemental. So you've got no idea what keys you're talking about. The elemental kind of looks around and says, "Open the clams if you wish."
Thank you. May the Sea Lord bless our search. We'll continue doing so.
Okay. So you spend the rest of the day opening more and more clams. You don't find any more keys, just those 2. What you do find is several other pearls. What are you going to do about
that? We should leave the pearls.
I want to leave them, and if mechanically I don't know how this works, but I am prepared to spend conviction if I fail a further test, or if I have to spend conviction first not to take the test, whichever way around.
Okay. I will allow you to spend a point of conviction just to avoid the test entirely, if you like.
Right.
But describe to me the internal conflict.
Certainly, yes. Knowing the benefit that it would have for the crew, for the injured, for the people I'm invested in, the people who are almost like extended family when you spend so much time in close quarters together, I know the impact that this would have for them, and for me, and for my people, and for me. and for my own personal riches, and me, myself, and I. But I am under the watchful gaze of the Sea Lord. He's already rewarded me with a sword. What else might he reward me with?
Okay.
If I don't take this.
Yeah. So your urge to steal an extra pearl is kind of warring with your promises to Myval and the others. But eventually it is that loyalty to the crew and the thought of what else might the Sea Lord gift me if I behave myself and don't just rob him blind, that eventually allows you to gain control of yourself. And you can feel this nagging sensation of wanting to take another pearl. It's really gnawing at the back of your mind, but you manage to push it down. And it's at that point that you realise it's not just been like an internal voice, it's almost been like a tangible voice has been trying to talk you into it.
Am I being talked to by the pearls directly?
No, you don't think so.
Okay.
You don't think it's that. You think it's more some sort of... Actually,
the other temple place.
It could be. Give me a...
That's where it was strongest.
Temple? Do you mean the barrow mound?
Yeah.
I do. However, I saw the label on the keys, and I've taken that into my subconscious. So, do I not know that in character?
The label on the keys.
On the landing
label
page.
On the keys on the landing page to temple key.
Oh, I thought I'd taken that off. Okay. Each key is named for where you find it.
Right.
So the temple key is the one you found in the temple.
In the temple,
Lord.
right. Got you.
Therefore, there is also clam key or oyster key 1, oyster key 2,
Right.
And there's the one
Right,
that was
there's the
actually
oyster.
in the barrel when you found it, as
Mhm.
well, you know, in the door already. And there
In
was-
which case, I scrubbed that. I meant the barrow keys.
Okay, barrel.
Are either of the oyster keys blue?
Do you know what one is? Yes. Because I too thought of that rather culturally specific British joke. Yes. Okay. So you managed to swallow down that temptation, but by the time you're staggering out of the sea caves, several things have happened. First of all, the water, the tide has come in. It's not completely filled the sea caves, and it wouldn't bother an enemy anyway as a sea folk. But some of the others have had to retreat to the drier grounds. So you were opening the ones in the deepest part of the water first, presumably, to help battle with the tide. The second thing is, by the time you're leaving, you're glad to be out of here, because the temptation was just getting far too much for you. So you have this sense of relief as you leave the temple. Sorry, the sea caves. You've got me doing temples now.
Quick question.
Yes.
How reflective is the surface of these pearls?
About the same as an average pearl, so you can't really see yourself in it, if that's what you were wondering.
Ah, so not carnival mirrors as we're pushing them along.
Ah, right. Oh, no, unfortunately not, but I do like the concept.
Just had this vision of these two gigantic raccoon eyes being reflected back in the back of this pearl.
That would have been quite cool, but unfortunately not.
The enduring image that I take away from this is that we're pushing large white spheres around near the sea. Surely this is the prisoner.
Yes, that does seem like the introduction of the prisoner, doesn't it? Now you can't imagine it.
I'm not a prisoner, I am a free raccoon!
You are number 6.
Who was number 1?
I am number 2.
I always thought at that point you should go, did I fucking ask? You're number 1. I asked who was number 1, didn't I? But no, apparently Patrick McGuire's a lot more polite than I am, so there you go. Okay, so you're back. Have I dragged you over onto the map page? Yes, I have. So you're back on the general map page. Map page. It is now late in the day, so another day is about to come to an end. You know that the pirates are probably searching for you somewhere, because you have now destroyed the one thing that keeps their island secret from the outside world, and they were already a little peeved with you. You know that there are harpies somewhere on this island, but they're mostly over by the mountains, and you know that you need to get your casualties. Well, your casualties were already sent back to the Chanterelle, weren't they? So I'm going to imagine you sent a message to tell them the casualties were coming.
So a message? Oh, like a psychic message?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah,
In that case,
absolutely.
the Chanterelles moved to here to pick them up.
Some
that
poor
makes
soul on
sense,
board got a in their ear, you know?
Yes. Okay, so as you emerge from the sea caves, you can see the Chanterelle in the distance, where it's taken on its returning crew members. Now, what are you up to? What are you doing?
Well, if the pirates are searching for us, are they likely to be doing so at night?
Difficult to say, really.
I think they might, because that would possibly be easier for an ambush.
It would. Is there some manner of sound effect going off?
There's music in the background. Is that what you mean?
Ah, right. I think I've got that turned down low. I'm just getting like maybe just one of the high notes or something.
Maybe, yeah. If you turn it up too high, it tends to feed back through everyone else's mic. But if you leave it,
I'm wearing headphones, so
right.
you wouldn't get that from me.
Right, okay. Yeah.
Right. These pearls are really difficult to push.
Yeah.
We're going to be terribly slowed pushing these all the way over land.
Is this
Why-
our rowing boat from before?
It is.
Why don't we load them onto the Chanterelle along with the wounded, get the Chanterelle to take us up the coast to the temple, and then we'll disembark from there?
I was going to suggest a rowing boat, but maybe that's a
Right.
better idea.
Well, the thing about the rowing boat is, if we do it in that, we're less likely to be seen, because a tall ship with all of its sails
I
flowing.
mean, I figure we don't want to be seen, which is
Exactly.
why I would have suggested
Exactly.
the rowing boat.
That's what I'm saying. I'm saying the rowing boat is better for stealth. So I'd be leaning towards that if that's
Okay, so we're on the same page, right?
We are.
Cool.
Oh, definitely, yes. I'm just expressing myself badly by the sounds of it.
Sorry,
It's
I
okay.
wasn't really paying attention.
We're using the rowing boat.
I was
Yes.
sorting something else on the map, and I knew you guys were discussing between yourselves, and I thought I'll just do this, and then I'll drop back into their conversation at the end, just in time for me to hear what they've decided, and I missed it. So you're using the
we?
rowing boat, yeah?
So
Can
here's
we?
how it is. We're loading the pearls onto the rowing boat, and enemy's going to do all of the rowing, and I'm going to sit on the prow like Reaper Cheap.
Okay.
Yep.
Yeah.
Can we load all of the pearls into the boat and still have it stay afloat?
Yes, you can. You can.
Right.
So you're taking the pearls back to the Chanterelle with you from the...
No,
You're not?
no. We're taking them onto the rowing boat that we had before.
No, yes, I understand that. That wasn't what I meant.
Sorry, and then we're taking the rowing boat directly to the temple.
Right, okay. That was what I was trying to figure out. Were
Yes.
you taking the rowing boat to the Chanterelle and then the Chanterelle to the temple, or were you just rowing all the way around? Excellent. Could
The thing we'd agreed on was that we were definitely not going over land with these things.
Yeah.
Then we were kind of at cross purposes as to which one we were going to do. We were actually on the same page for terms of stealth.
Right, yes, it does make a lot of sense. So what would you like the Chanterelle to do, since you know the pirates are probably looking for you at this point, and the Chanterelle's hard to miss?
Yeah, make a distraction.
Okay.
Go in the opposite direction. Yeah, make it look as though we've boarded. If we're being watched, make it look as though we've boarded. Send them off in the opposite direction. Get them to, I don't know, light some stuff up, throw up some flares, wave their arms about, make a noise.
Okay, so that's your suggestion to the captain. The captain agrees to part of your plan, but not all. He says, we will sail in the opposite direction to you, but I don't want to attract attention. I suspect the pirates are probably sailing around the northern side of the island, because the last place they know our agents have been was at the lighthouse, since they're no longer shielded. So I think they'll head that way to find out if you're still there. In fact, they'll probably be close to that. So I think this is a great time for the Chanterelle, and for me to take the Chanterelle around the southern edge of the island to see if we can spot the pirates' base.
Point of clarity that is pertinent, narratively speaking, because of the influence of the barrow, or indeed the whole island itself. It can make people greedy. It's done it with me. Has the first mate actually assumed the rank of captain?
That's a very good point. Let me just find that out.
You referred to him as the captain.
I referred to him as...
You did.
As the games master referred to him as a captain. Yeah. No,
Right.
he's still referring to himself as first mate.
Because I know there's that whole sort of rank thing where you don't need to hold the rank of captain to be captain of a ship.
Oh, yeah, that's right.
Yeah, so I didn't know if it was like that technicality, or if he'd just gone and sort of slapped 4 bars on it.
Technically, he would be referred to captain whilst he is acting as the captain, but as soon as the captain's back on board, he'll be first mate again, yeah. In much the same way as whilst...
Hang on. The captain is back on board?
No.
No, okay, sorry.
I said as soon as the captain is back on board.
As.
No, you need to find the captain. That's part of what you're doing here. Okay, so the Chanterelle's going to head off that way, and you're all going to give me a sailing test to head off this way.
Sure. How many people are with us?
You've kept Harold's with you, and
Yep.
let's say 2 other. Actually, let's say 1. So
Okay.
you've got 2 sailors with you. You can
Right.
either have the second sea folk, or
Mhm.
you can have one of the more land oriented.
Louise,
Sea
sea folk.
folk, yeah.
Bingo, same page.
You want to go with the sea folk, right? You are. So let
Yep.
me just find out why that's not. Right. Yeah, okay. Okay, so you can make rolls for the. So that's a 19. That's a pass. That's a 12. That's a pass. So you are 7, 8. Right. Okay. So you're happily making your way back up the coast without, as yet, incident. The sea is coming in at the moment, so it's pushing you towards the beaches and the cliffs all the time. But skilled sailors that you are, you're easily countering that and coming out into the sea. You're riding the surf in a few places. It's very rough in areas, but you're skilled at this, and you're managing to keep on course for the temple without, any so far
For
any disasters.
the 6 points of stunts that the crew got, with a flourish,
Yeah.
the manner of your success is impressive to those who are nearby to watch you. You have a +1 bonus to oppose tests against them until the time of any changes. In the event we run across the pirates and there is incoming fire, they're sailing so well in the dark that they could potentially evade.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So, making your way around the coast as best you can, you are. So far, you've managed not to encounter the pirates. You give me a perception hearing test to see if you can tell whether they've passed you in the night.
Okay. Ships that pass in the night.
Yes. Okay, so you haven't heard anything. The crash and surf from time to time has made it difficult to be certain. You don't think you've passed the pirates, so you think they're still out there somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
Give me a second set of sailing tests to see if you make it the rest of the way to the sunken thing without further ado or disaster. And I'll start prepping the flooded temple maps. Okay, let me just have a look. We have 16 is a pass, that's 4 points in the pool. 15 is a pass, that's 5 points in the pool. 16 is a pass, that's 5, 6, 7, 8 points in the pool. So the results of the stunt dice are what's going into your success pool. So with 8, you've managed to make it all the way back to the island. Sorry, not the island, the
temple. Yeah. Well, we know where we landed before, so we know a good spot.
You do, yeah. So I'm just gonna, an enemy we're gonna need. Roger's gone back to the ship. I'm not quite sure who that is. I think that might be Shaun's character. But I'm not sure. Seaman Storm. Harold's staying with you. Storm's gone back with Sailor Moon. And you kept one of the okay, so I just need to find the other sea folk miniature and we're good. So let me just give me a second. That's interesting. We seem to be missing a sea folk here. Never mind, I'll fix it in a second. So, you land in the darkness. near where you reached the temple the first time and make your way back through the undergrowth towards the temple doors you entered by on the tower level the first time. Just pop you guys over there and then drop the player's tag on that. And for the people at home, this map was not by Gethsemane Games, this map was by Seafoot, and you can pick up more of Seafoot's maps on their Seafoot Games on their Patreon. Check out Patreon, Seafoot Games. This is the level of quality of map that you'll be looking at. As you can see, I think this is excellent. It's well worth me including it in our game, so we have done. So the players should be able to see where they're at now. I seem to have accidentally moved the fucking door, but never mind. I'm just going to open
And also, if you didn't know how to spell what you've just said, there's a great big copyright thing up the side that's got the Patreon name on.
There is indeed, yeah.
Over beside me.
Yeah. Indeed. So whilst you're deciding what you're doing there as you enter the temple again, I'm just going to try and find this missing sea folk character. Where the hell else might he be?
Under the sea?
You'd think, wouldn't you? In fact, yes. When you went diving, you'll have taken the 2 sea folk with you. They should still be on that map, which has taken a long time to resolve. Because fuck me, apparently.
Can you get him from the character sheet?
Young Roger was the sea folk you sent back,
was
which
he?
means you'll have to have swapped him for Old Tom, which was the other one.
Fine.
Since you were in conversation with the Chanterelle and you will have passed them at some point, you can easily have had Tom jump in to see to join you. Okay, there you are. You should all be on that map now.
Lovely.
What would you like to do?
Reverentially open the doors.
Okay.
Oh, we should also have the pearls with us.
We need to start rolling the pearls in.
Yeah, I don't think we really need them on
Oh, okay.
the map. So you roll the pearls in, and you notice as you do that the markings on the floor start to become. They were always pearlescent, but they become a little bit brighter, as if they're glowing very, very slightly. That glow gets brighter with each additional pearl that you roll.
Are these like channels in the floor? Or just markings?
Markings, the kind of inlay, mother of pearl
Right.
inlay. Yeah.
Right, okay. So they're not like trenches?
No, they look very different now than they did the last time you saw them, to be honest. But they are nonetheless still kind of inlays. The pearls are going to be quite difficult to get into position in some cases, but I'm sure you're going to manage.
Okay.
So you're trying to restore them, or have you something else in mind?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm going to need a strength test to get a pearl in place, because you're going to have to roll it up to the part of the wall where its mount is and then lift it up into position and fit it into the mount. Now, there is a possibility of injury here, because you'll be lifting them above your head, and these are big, heavy pearls.
Right.
If you fail to fit them properly, there is a small chance of an injury.
Okay, so you're at strength -1. -2. I'm at strength 0. What we need here is brains. Unfortunately, Shaun's not with us, so we're going to have to make do. Right. What I suggest is levers. Leverage. Outside, we have got palm trees. Or some manner of foliage.
Palm trees.
If we cut down some lengths of wood, we can make a reasonable pivot point.
It's true, yeah.
Whereby, if we've got like sufficient moment, I think it's called.
Momentum.
Like where you put it along the. I'm gesturing with my hands, and this is no use at all. You can't see me. I'm trying to remember back, sort of 25 years to physics or whatever it was. Right. We can basically lift it much easier if the cantilever point. Can we try it?
You can try it. It's going to take a while to build to cut down the wood and to build the thing you're talking about. That'll probably take you a couple of hours, a team this size.
Do you think it's worth trying, Louise?
I think it's worth trying, because otherwise I feel like we're going to get squished, because I did think maybe if we just all work together, but the crew strength isn't exactly very great either.
Yeah, I mean, like does the minus actually count as a minus against us? Would you be actively hindering us?
Yes, there would be, because you would be, a character with a minus will struggle more with that. With that test. Yes.
Okay, hang on. Maybe we're looking at this the wrong way. Weird question. Do pearls float?
We're going to try and float them in.
I'm going to have to look that up now. How the hell would I... Hold on, give me a second and I'll answer your question. Do pearls float? That's got to be in Google somewhere, hasn't it?
Yeah, well, it auto-finished when I started typing it, so pearls do not float in water. You need transparent gels to float them.
That's the answer I got as well.
Right, there you go. So, no, pearls don't float in water. You need transparent gels to float them.
Right. Okay. However, things are lighter in water. We saw that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, we could move them more easily in the water.
They'll definitely be lighter in water than the wood, because the water will be helping to buoy them up.
Stop. I've just thought of something else. We said we were going to bring the pearls back.
Mm-hmm.
Is it even our place to put them in physically?
I mean, it seems a bit daft to just turn up and be like, well, we did our bit.
No, not what I mean. I mean, ceremonially, there is a water elemental here who probably has a damn sight more strength than we do.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so it's a matter of we have returned the pearls. We offer them to you freely to put into place. If we ask and he refuses, then we struggle on. But it might be the case of, oh yes, thank you, and he just sort of whips them into place in seconds flat. Worth a try before we do anything backbreaking?
Yeah.
Or have we already asked too much of the water elemental?
Oh, you're the water guy.
Well, I don't want to do anything unilaterally. I'm throwing it all out there to be chewed on. Right. Okay.
I think I've chewed on enough today. And so much clam. Really could do with some sparkling wine about now, though.
I mean, fair. Okay, so what would you like to do?
Going to the edge of the pool, hands out in supplication. In the name of the Sea Lord, I would speak with the water elemental of this temple. Respectfully.
The water surges upright. There's a massive geyser of water as it sprays into the air, raining salt water down on you. And as it's passed, you see the water elemental bobbing about in the pool at the top there.
Thank you for your aid with the sea ogres. We have returned with pearls. Is it our place to put them into the walls, or is that your appointed task? I ask humbly.
It is a task. It may be completed by either you or I.
We are severely lacking in the ability to even lift these items.
I see. One moment then. And as the water elemental, you get the sensation of it closing its eyes, although it's very difficult to be certain.
Yes.
Because it's just sort of eye shapes of pure blue. but there's just you think you saw them close somehow.
Yes.
And as it brings its hands together in front of it into a sort of prayer-like motion, you see that the markings on the floor begin to sink slightly and fill with water. As they do, the water elemental clambers out of the main pool, always careful to maintain contact with the water in one of the channels at any given time. It holds its hand out.
Roll one of the pearls to him.
Okay. You roll one of the pearls to the water elemental, and it lifts them and places it in the appointed place. As it does, it turns it slightly, and you hear a clunking noise. And oddly enough, you get the sensation that the hole is kind of constricted to fit to trap the pearl in the thing. You hear a distant roaring noise.
Is that a good roaring noise?
You can give me a perception hearing to try and figure out what it is, if you would like. Okay, let's have a look. It's the sound of a large amount of water moving. Sounds like it's draining out of the lower part of the temple.
That makes sense.
The elemental holds its hand out again.
Roll him another.
You roll him another and he moves. Again, careful always to stay in contact with the water in these channels. He places the second, and then the third, and then the fourth pearl in order as you keep rolling them towards him. After the second pearl is fitted, the rest of the water drains out of the lower part of the temple, leaving water only in the pool where it's supposed to be. And in the channels where the elementals currently put it to remain in contact with the water. The third pearl, you start to feel a fresh sea air that's coming almost from nowhere. And as the final pearl is fitted, the chamber lights up as if it was daylight.
Oh, beautiful. Falling to my knees and giving a prayer of thanks to the Sea Lord.
Okay. You give a prayer of thanks to the Sea Lord. Can I just ask what's your fate and destiny, please?
They are resourceful and greedy.
Resourceful. You definitely played into resourceful there when you came up with the idea of building the structures to help lift it. And then again when you went, nah, let's just ask the elemental. So that point of conviction that you used earlier,
yes,
you can have it back.
Oh, thank you.
There you go. And Louise, what are your fate and destiny?
Mine are logical and wasteful.
So again, you've played in towards that as well, with the entire plan of using the boat to get here stealthily, and then the way you had these things placed without having to put yourself in any danger to do so. I would say that plays into your logical, so you may gain a point of
Hey.
So you both feel your determination and your conviction to achieve your goals strengthening somehow as you see this temple restored to its old glory. Looking around, the stains of the water lines that were on the walls and the stone when you first got here are completely gone. The fading elegance of the place is now replaced with just elegance. There's nothing fading about it. It's as if the place had just been built and commissioned just last week. The elemental climbs back into the pool and dissipates in through the water as the water in these channels drains back out, and you see the pearlescence rise up to fill it again, looking more now like mother of pearl than it ever did before, like brand new, polished. Everything about the temple suddenly has this kind of radiance and beauty to it that was there but was kind of decayed and tarnished before. Well, the tarnish is completely gone, and you get the sensation of peace and warmth within the temple that tells you that it's been completely reconsecrated to the Sea Lord.
Wonderful.
Thought you might like
Mm.
Happy speaking princess.
that. Yes. So you spend a little bit of time, sort of saying your prayers to the Sea Lord, making various religious obeisances to them, before kind of just the whole sort of peaceful atmosphere just lulls you all to sleep. You awake the next morning, the temple still looking brand new as if it was just created. What would you like to do?
Probably do a quick tour around the place and see it in its full glory, because we've only seen it partially flooded.
You have, yep. Okay, so you make a tour around the entire temple, much as you did earlier when it was flooded. And sure enough, every part of the temple looks new. It looks as if it was just created yesterday. The level of awe that it inspires now is completely different to the way you saw it before. It was still beautiful, even flooded, especially to sea folk who love to swim. But there's just something about it now that's better. Unfortunately, we don't have a map of it as a dry version. So, but you notice that the coral and whatnot that was grown on the inside, and the various seaweeds that are attached to the wall, you notice that they're just not here anymore. It's as if they washed out with the water. It's not like, you know, when you see seaweed washed up,
Yes.
and it begins to stink in the heat.
Mm.
It's none of that. It's like it was never here. It's just gone. You notice now as well that the backing for those mirrors that you saw earlier, whilst one of the mirrors is still missing, the frame is made from mother of pearl, and the backing on the mirrors is made from mother of pearl. The mirror itself is kind of highly polished. You think silver, but you're not. You've never seen silver reflect to that level before, so you're not sure.
Is that a flat mirror, or is that slightly curved?
It's slightly curved.
Two great big raccoon eyes.
Yes, two great big raccoon eyes staring back at everybody.
I get the impression that's from something. Is that from like a Disney film or something?
I don't think so. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah.
Are there any more keys for the barrow around?
Okay, give me a perception searching test.
Everybody, or just mine?
Everybody who's choosing to search for them can. Okay, so you make a thorough search of the temple and you can't find anything at all like the keys to the barrow. Even in the chests you find them, which, despite the fact that they've been submerged in salt water for a considerable amount of time, look as if they were just built by the carpenter yesterday.
Fascinating.
Well, if this place has got restorative powers, I'm just gonna sit here.
Okay. So you have all had a bit rest. I did say you'd slept overnight, so everybody gets back everybody gets back. It's their constitution plus their level plus 10 in health points. Sorry, my mind temporarily went blank and I couldn't remember. Is it 10 or 5? Or then I realised 5's for a much shorter rest.
Short rest, yeah.
Well, that's me back up to full health.
Same.
Cool. So, having restored the temple to its former glory and reconsecrated it to the Sea Lord, what would you like to do next?
I think some manner of prevention from this happening again would be a good idea.
Yeah, that's a good plan.
Okay, and how do you intend to do that?
Well, I noted there that the water elemental was very careful to stay in the areas that were wet on the floor.
Yeah.
I'm guessing as the pirates pulled the pearls out, that prevented him from bridging across, that he can't step onto dry land.
Should we put out some buckets?
Do you know you have a suspicion that is correct? Yes.
That is pretty much what I've got in mind, Louise. Yes, that there be some sort of equivalent of stepping stones, so that
Why don't we do that as a temporary measure and ask him if, once we've got stuff sorted on the island, if he'd like us to send someone back that could maybe carve in some channels, like a sort of reverse drain, as a better measure. But I don't think that's something we could do in the short term.
Let's phrase it as a question, rather just so we're not saying
yeah.
Shall we start carving into the temple?
No, I said if you'd be into that, you know.
Well, the question I've got in mind is, did these mother of pearl inlays were they always here, or were they previously?
And they've just crusted up.
Maybe so something like that. Yes.
Yes, they were always there.
Right. Okay.
You're not actually seeing the elemental at the moment, so you've been looking for him. But you're aware, as you reach the pool, if you ask at the pool, you can hear its voice. So the elemental's still in the pool. It's just not bothering to make a big show of its existence at the moment. Could you please give me?
Yeah.
For the crew of the Chanterelle, you can just give me one roll. We'll assume that's the best roll out of the party, out of the crew. So I'm going to give them +4 as a consequence. Give me a perception seeing test, please.
Did we both roll there?
Okay, well, we can do it that way. I'll take... well, they were both passes anyway. Okay.
Wow, that's coincidental.
Yes, it is. Yeah. Okay, so what you're getting from the Chanterelle is you get a message. Which of you is the one that's in psychic contact? It's Myval, isn't it?
That would be me.
Myval, yeah.
Right. You get a message from the first mate, the captain, to say, we think we've found the pirate base.
Ah!
There's a hidden cove on the west side, southwest of the island. And there is some kind of fortified position on the cliffs above. It looks to me to be a small town. We can also just about make out what we think might be a hidden dock and port in this cove. It wasn't easy to find, mind, but I don't see any sign of a ship. So I think it's already put to sea. It's probably working its way around the island, which means if they're anything like as fast as we are, they're probably coming up on your position shortly.
Okay, I'll pass that on. Thank you.
Okay.
So, I will pass that on to everybody here.
Okay,
Right.
so you're warned by Myval that the Chanterelle thinks the pirates might be in your area now, and also that the Chanterelle is in the area of the pirate base at the moment.
Angry pirates in your area.
Since you guys
I'll
rolled
look
2
for you.
rolls, I'll take 2 of these as well. So, perception, seeing, target number, I think, wouldn't be that high.
Doubloon your pleasure, doubloon your fun.
So you feel free to discuss what you're going to do.
Okay, asking the water elemental, do you need our aid in defending the temple against the pirates who are likely to be returning right now? Phrasing it in such a clever way of, there's a fight coming, and we're on the same side.
The elemental sort of shrugs. It's not really certain.
Right.
At this point at all. It's seen off these pirates once before.
They got away with 3 pearls.
They
though.
did get away with 3 pearls, but it's actually awake now.
It wasn't awake before. Oh, in which case, let's sit back and watch the, I would say fireworks, but waterworks.
Wait, they invaded and took his stuff while he was napping. Have they no honor?
The pirates.
None at all.
Okay, so you're just going to sit here and wait for the pirates to get here.
I think so. Yes, I mean,
it does seem like a slightly better strategic position than just wandering around.
We're meeting them on our terms, not theirs. We're in a position of strength. We're in a fortification with an elemental on our side.
Okay.
So unless they've come loaded to counter that, we probably have an advantage.
Okay, so after about 20 minutes, half an hour, you are aware of the sound of something. It's sort of a slight roaring sound, and then
oh, the shooting.
You hear that kind of repeatedly. Oh dear. Okay.
Suggest to the water elemental, raise a great tidal wave to wash them away.
The water elemental is going to make no hostile moves against anything that's made no hostile move against it.
They're firing at us.
They're not firing at us. They're firing at your boat.
Oh fuck!
Oh damn!
Well, there goes that.
At that point, one of the crew looks out the window and says, "Ah, shit! The launch is on fire."
Well, I don't suppose you could put that out. I said to the elemental.
It can't reach. Well, no, I suppose it could go out to sea. It shrugs and says, "I will, but I think the damage is done."
Well, never mind.
And then it sort of flows out. A moment later, you see a large wave come in, strike your launch, and put the fire out. But sure enough, it's scorched. It's damaged.
Yeah.
You're not sure that large wave didn't do further damage. Actually. And you can see out of some of the windows, you can now see the size of the pirate ship, which is out there. It's quite sizable. You would say it's probably got a crew of about 40. And you're not entirely sure if your being here is liable to protect the temple or actually put it in more danger.
Make things worse.
Oh no, I'm out of character. I'm really hoping they take aim at the temple.
Right.
Because then they've taken aggressive action against the water elemental, and he'll go out and be elemental at them.
I mean, yeah, but he has just one water elemental, and if they're a crew of 40, that's
on the ocean.
Yeah, I suppose. Well, anyway, I'm going to cross my cute little arms and look really huffy and go, "Told you should let me keep one of those giant clamshells."
For what purpose, Myval?
Well, you know, we could use it as a boat now.
Do they float? Pearls don't float. We found that out. From
yeah, but the shell
Google.
wouldn't.
The shell would have floated.
Yeah.
I don't know
if
the
it's
answer to that
empty.
one either.
And would it wouldn't be empty because there'd be 4 of us on it.
Fair enough.
Yeah. Maybe you could hide in one. That's about it.
Sorry, I just looked up to the clamshell float and it just gave me like tons and tons of inflatable clamshells.
I would imagine inflatable clamshells float. I would say that's a fairly good good chance, certainly, yes. Okay, so I just need to...
What exactly were they firing?
You don't know when you took a... I'll tell you what, give me a perception seeing test. See if anybody looked out early enough to spot what was being shot. It definitely wasn't the sound of cannons, which you wouldn't recognise anyway, not coming
because
from a world of gunpowder.
they've launched fire, so that that would say like some manner of, I don't know, like a ballista maybe, or magic.
Well, an enemy's passed quite considerably there. Yeah, it was ballista shots, burning ballista shots.
Right, fair enough. I don't suppose there are any weapon fortifications on the temple.
No, this is not a position that's
No.
that's designed for combat, really, to be honest. So, as you're watching, you can see that there are now launchers putting out from the boat itself to come and investigate your now burning.
Yes. With 6 points of stunts on perception, in regards to weapons and munitions and the like, can I get a reasonable overview of just how many guns they're sort of bringing to bear per side?
You're probably going to need a separate perception test for that, I think, yes.
Right. What can I have for 6 stunts, though?
Actually, for 6 stunts, you could probably take That Makes Me Wonder.
Yeah.
Or something along those
lines. Which would then give me another roll?
Yeah.
Right, okay.
Yeah, you would say they're only bringing about 4 ballista, or they only brought about 4 ballista to bear. Whether or not there's enough space, they would be able to carry more than that. But that's all they actually brought to bear. So.
Right. Okay.
Okay. So what I'm going to go ahead.
Not wanting to get a reaction like Dream did with the Fates. Can I ask another question?
You can ask another question, yes.
I am loving that series, I tell you.
It's really good, fantastic. Isn't it?
Oh, every episode's a work of art.
Yeah. Would you like to position your people on the map there as well, since this might become important in a moment?
Right.
But you can continue to ask your question as well.
So main door and any other ways in, or is that it?
Yeah, there's a secondary door here.
Right.
Which I will just delete the lighting tag from.
Can we rapidly I suppose in that 20 minutes we're sitting waiting we should have done this, but can we rapidly fashion some manner of traps, or at the very least like throw a length of rope from one side to the other and be ready to trip them as they come in?
I think I've got a thing to do with traps. Let me check.
I will indeed allow you to do that. I'll say that because you did just sit and watch, I did specifically ask for 20 minutes. You're going to have to rig these traps quickly.
Yeah.
Which means you can build maybe 2 traps, fairly basic ones, like nothing that requires gears or digging a pit or anything like that. Yeah. But
just glue some gears on it and call it steampunk.
As you're quickly trying to suddenly put these defences together, bear in mind there are windows around here as well, which you should be able to see out of, but I see they've changed the thing again, so what I'm going to do is just delete the windows so you can definitely see through. They've actually added a new function that means you shouldn't need to use the API script that I was using for the windows before. They now have a see-through wall option. But obviously this was set up before that was an option, so it was set up using the door knocker API script, where windows were detected based on the colour of wall you'd drawn. So I'm just going to take all windows and doors out so you can see through.
Okay.
I hope that doesn't mean the walls are going to crash all the time now.
Well, let's hope not.
Or go blue.
Okay, so position yourselves as you would like, and we'll worry about... What will happen is, you've got 2 traps to use during the upcoming fight, right? You can decide when those traps are going to be triggered and what they were, and that is the point at which I will require a roll to see if you created the trap correctly.
Right, okay.
So you will make your trap building roll when you trigger the trap.
Myval, did you say that you are good at making traps?
No, I thought I was, but I'm good at disarming traps.
No, it should be
Well-
the same thing. The trap skill should work for both.
It's not the skill, it's from the thievery talent.
Ah, right, yes.
You are familiar with many types of traps. If you fail a dexterity traps test, you can re-roll it, but you must keep the results of the second roll.
Yeah, so that would work. Dexterity traps
Okay.
test is what you would use to create it. So
Okay.
yeah, I will allow it.
Alright,
So
well, I
it's-
don't have dexterity traps, I just have dexterity.
Okay, so when we come to see if your traps are working, you'll make a dexterity test. If the
Okay.
first one fails, you get to try it again. If the
Okay,
second one
cool.
fails, you'll have to admit that was a defeat, though. So, has everybody positioned their tokens where they want them to be located in the?
Admit defeat? Me? Never!
So you see the first launch of pirates comes ashore, and the front few pirates jump out and drag the vessel up on the. Yeah.
Bearing in mind, we can't control 3 of these tokens.
Okay. So you can't control Harold, presumably.
Correct.
Because only Shaun can. So let me just alter that to all players.
I like how, as you were saying this and describing this atmospheric scene of these pirates, outside it sounds like there's someone attacking the bus stop with a mallet again, as happened the other day, so we have some sound effects too.
Way.
Is this the same person who was yodeling?
There you
No,
go.
no,
You should be
no,
able to position them all now, as these pirates are currently jumping off the launch that they've dragged up onto the beach. Some of them are taking defensive positions, others are checking the damage that they've done to yours. You see one of them takes a big iron spike and hammers it through the base of your launch and then pulls it out, and then hammers it through again and pulls it out. So he's punched 2 holes in the bottom of your launch, just in case the ballista shots that set the thing on fire weren't enough.
I get the impression we're not leaving by rowing bullets.
Oh no, we're going to steal one of theirs. They've just left 2 launches there. We're taking both of them.
Well, only
Okay.
one launch is well, no, the other one's disgorging now. So because they've taken some time to do what they're doing. So the second launch is disgorging its, let's call them troops, shall we? Whilst the ones from the first launch start dispersing into the cover and heading towards the entranceway to the temple.
Okay. We'll wait.
Okay, is everybody have you
important
positioned
thing-
the NPCs where you want them as
Oh,
well?
no, hang on. The important thing is that we do not take aggressive action first, that the water elemental sees quite plainly that they take the first aggressive action. All we've done is to fortify the temple.
Okay.
So they come,
And he's brought the problem here.
we came to fix the pearls that they stole. They're coming back to steal more pearls.
Well, they're actually hunting you. You're going to have to convince the elemental that they're coming for the pearls when, in point of fact, they're actually coming for you. So that you might be able to convince it. We're going to find out fairly
Well,
shortly.
okay, they're coming for the loyal servants of the sea god.
Okay. How do you know they are not? Actually, I think they've given plenty of evidence that they're not that loyal servants of the sea god, haven't they?
We're sheltering in the sea god's temple from the people who are coming to get us.
Well, plenty of Christians hid in in churches from other Christians who were coming to get them. So that's in and of itself no guarantee, I suppose. Okay, so you now see this horde of pirates is starting to emerge down the. Fuck's sake! Get off! Get off! Get off! Get off!
Are you okay there?
Oh, it's the sticky cursor thing again, where you try and move it and it just goes, no, I'm not moving. I'm going to make you do this instead. You know, you thought you were moving the cursor? No. What you've done instead is opened this menu, and all these things are going to happen. Because I'm a bastard. That's essentially what's happening. Okay, so these pirates are now sort of teeming down the road towards you. They don't actually know you're there yet, so they're not charging. They're just kind of walking cautiously, trying to peer to see if they can spot you. So, could you all make a stealth roll, please? I'm going to give the pirates one opportunity to try and detect you. They will use their perception seeing to see if they notice anybody peering out through gaps in the doors or out the windows. Or
Dexterity stealth, yeah.
Dexterity stealth for you, please. Yes. They need to beat the lowest of your group. Oh shit. Yeah, so they've scored 20. I'm pretty sure they know you're there.
There's a lot of 20 with 6 points of stunts coming out.
Isn't it just?
Yeah.
Well, it's about to get more. What's the term on that? Do you know, I just can't speak today. It's terrible, even by my standards.
No worries.
Remove all turns, clear, and yes. So stunts are about to get a lot more kind of important any moment now. So, if you would like to go ahead and give me a initiative test for each of you, please, making sure that you have yourselves highlighted when you do it so that it goes straight in, because I've got a shitload of initiative tests to make here, and I don't want to have to come back and fill players in manually if I don't absolutely have to.
I will be right back, but I'll let you do all of you.
Okay, so is that everybody rolled for?
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
And what I said to everybody is, just stay down.
Okay.
Get on your knees and pray. We are in a temple of the Sea Lord. Get down on your knees and pray. Stay out of sight of those windows and the people who are out there. The Sea Lord will protect us.
Well, unfortunately, they did spot you.
Yeah.
They have now begun to take up more offensive positions. This guy's near the back, so he's going to get into cover and then shoot. So he's going to try and hit Myval through that window. That's an incredibly difficult shot, so that's got to be -3 to hit. So a crossbow. That might still be a hit though, at 17. So 3 off there. That's 14? 15, 17. No, yeah, 14. So I think Myval's just been hit with 6 points of stunts. Unfortunately, Louise has just popped off.
Yes.
So we'll have to wait for them to pop back. So I'll come back to that. Let's find out what an enemy's doing in the meantime.
Okay. Staying down, so probably like stand firm or kneel firm.
Yeah, stand firm will work. Yeah, okay. So the next pirate is one of the front lines. That one's racing for the door. Charge! And he's going to try and force that door, which is going to need a might test. It's a reasonably sturdy door, so it's going to be challenging. So the pirate needs to beat 13 with a strength might test to bust its way through that door. And the pirate, I believe, has just done it. Yeah. The pirate comes running up to the door, boots it, and the door bursts open. So that was their... that was both of their actions, really. Running to the door and attacking the door. So the door is open. I'll just stand the pirate right smack in the center of it. Next pirate is that one. So that one's going to make his way down this way.
And back.
Excellent. So you've just been shot.
Oh, grand.
Just out of the trees that are aligned with that window, this arrow just comes thunk and hits you. It was a -3 penalty because it's an incredibly difficult shot to make. The guy rolled really, really well, so he got shot anyway. Let's just find out how much damage you took. That would be 5.
just healed as well.
I know. So that pirate's making his way around to there. That's his major action. He's now going to take a look, and you can see that there is somebody in that window there, so he's going to shoot at them. That's not as hard a thing, so only -1, so that's 50. It shot Shaun's character. Wasn't actually expecting a fight to break out, because I generally thought when the pirate ship came round the corner you'd all bugger off. This is what I thought would happen.
Have you met us?
How often do we do what you think we'll do?
Well, I imagined for some reason that some kind of sense of self-preservation would kick in, but
This is the safest place to be, though, surely.
I mean, you keep trying to make a case for that, but I'm not convinced.
Ah. Maybe a common sense test would have been an idea.
I mean, you do know of an exit, remember?
Oh, I mean, I'm fine. I can jump into that pool and be aware.
But screw the rest of us. Okay, so this pirate to go next, he's going to run up to join the ones that are storming through this gap here. Myval to go. Now you seem to remember an enemy mentioning that it was an underwater passage.
Okay.
I'll just point it out. You don't have to do anything about it.
Okay, I'm not really sure what I could do about it because I'm a raccoon.
Well, like in Waterworld, you'll need me as Kevin Costner to jump underwater with everybody and blow them oxygen.
I've never seen Waterworld.
You've not missed anything. Dreadful.
I have engineering. When did I have that?
What are you doing with that for the traps?
Yeah.
I mean, I'll allow you to add the engineering to the dexterity instead of traps on this occasion if you want to.
Engineering, intelligence.
There's two of them. Well, yes, I know that, but
okay.
The Games Master does have the opportunity to allow people to use a focus from one attribute to another. So you could use dexterity, still get the +2 for having engineering. I would allow it. You'd click dexterity, but you'd add 2. Anyway, there are 2 pirates coming through one of the doors. If you want to trigger your trap now, that's
yes, I do.
Okay.
I hadn't seen those 2 pirates. I was still looking at what's going on.
Okay, in that case, give me a dexterity test. Add +2 for being +2, and then describe what the trap is.
It was because we mentioned rope before. It was a trip device. If it works right, they'll have gone arse over tit straight over it, and now suddenly have real old Tom and Seaman Harold right up in their faces.
Okay, so that's a fairly simple trap, so you've succeeded. If you described something a bit more complicated, it might have failed, but that's a success. It's a success with 2 points of stunts. So I'm going to say that not only have they crashed to the ground, but they've hit the stone ground so hard they take a d6 damage each.
Ooh,
so would you like to roll d6 damage for us, please?
Yes, I will do. Essentially, I'm hoping it's kind of set it up for our 2 crew there as well.
Yeah. So that's 4 damage.
Yeah.
In fact, I tell you what, you can, instead of doing the damage, you can use those 2 points to do a setup so that those 2 crew get a free attack.
Yeah, sure.
Okay, so or at least one of the crew gets a free attack.
Yeah.
So give me a attack roll for one of the seamen, and then they can roll damage if they hit. They get +2 because they're attacking somebody on the ground. They get another +1 because they've been set up. They get +3 in total then because they're also. Okay, that's a hit. So you may roll the damage.
No, who is it?
Yes.
Yes, 2 seconds, I'll put them on.
Oh, one moment. I think there's a phone call for me.
Sounds like it. Would you just like to pause your mic to us then? Okay, so Seaman Harold just plunged his cutlass into the back of the first pirate that crashed in through the door and fell over the tripwire. The guy's bleeding quite heavily and squealing like a stuck pig. It is the next pirate to go. Let's have a look. So it's this guy at the back. So he's going to take position to do some covering fire, but he hasn't got anybody to shoot at as of yet. This guy's going to race for this door, and he's also going to try and kick that door open. That's a strength might test. And I don't think he's passed it. He hasn't, so he's bounced off that door. Then we've got that guy. He'll do the same. He'll move into cover and look to shoot, but he doesn't have a target yet. This one's going to race through this gap and attack Seaman Harold. So, pirates. Oh, I seem to have lost me.
Sorry, I'm back. It was just a restaurant confirming a booking.
Ah, right, okay, no problem. Okay, so what's happened is that Seaman Harold has gashed open the back of those first two, one of the first two pirates to come through the door, the first one.
Yeah, okay, cool.
So he's quite badly injured, the guy that's down, but now the other door's, somebody pounded on that as well. There's another pirate who's run in to try and rescue his two friends who've fallen over from that trap.
Please tell me he fell over them.
It's unlikely, so I'm going to roll to see if he beats your 12. He gets a dexterity test. Shit, I think he did. Yep, so he's on the ground as well. However, he's still going to make an attack from the ground. But that does give us a little bit of a problem because I can't find... There it is. Okay. So he's going to attack Harold, so he's at -1 because he's... I'm going to say -2 because he's flying to the ground as he goes. So with his short sword, he has missed Seaman Harold. Narrowly. Because like as he's thrusting a short sword, he's... Poof, falls to the ground and Harold steps back and parries the blade out of the way. So the next pirate is this one. Seeing that everybody that's gone through that first door's hit the ground, he comes running to the other one and gives that a hefty boot instead. Let me just take a look. He needs a strength test. I think he's done it. Yep, he's kicked that door open, so that door's gone down. So you've now got pirates streaming in through the other door as well. Do you want to trigger your second trap, or do you want to hold it?
Yes, I do.
Is it the same trap, or do you have a different style of trap in mind?
I don't think we have anything better on us, so yeah, let's do...
Maybe... if I can throw in a suggestion,
yeah,
just a rope lashed up over some manner of promontory, or like something that sticks out.
Yeah, plenty of those. The pearl mounts themselves.
Oh, you mean like an Ewok kind of trap where it grabs your foot and you end up upside down?
Oh, that's a good idea. I was thinking like some sort of weight to just drop on them.
Yeah, you can set a deadfall trap up, or you can set a hoist trap up.
I like the idea of a hoist. The pirates.
Go for it.
A hoist, go for it. Okay.
Yeah, seems very pirate.
It does. It's actually the more complicated of the three, though, so the target number's a little bit higher.
Okay.
So that is going to be a 13, or better, you're going to need for
I got a 14, and that's without adding the extra 2.
Without adding
the extra 2 for the engineering.
Oh, shit, yeah, of course. So that's a success. So this guy has now been hoisted into the air and is... I'm going to use the netting to show that he's... Help!
I point and laugh.
This pirate's going to run in behind and he is going to... Now he's got two options. He can attack somebody or he can cut his friend down. So he's going to attack somebody. So he's going to run to there.
Could he not get hit in the face by the momentum of his struggling upside down friend?
Okay, what we'll do then is I'm going to drop your number back to 14 and see if he can beat it on dexterity. If he can, he ducks under. If he doesn't, he gets hit. Oh, yes, he's ducked under. So he like rolls under, comes up and slashes an enemy with his cutlass.
How dare!
So an enemy, you've taken an attack for 15. Is that a hit?
My defense. My defense is only 13. I take it the one for the shield is included, yeah?
Yes, it will be.
Right. Okay. So yes, that's a hit.
Okay, so the short sword blow has done you 5 points of damage.
Okay.
And that's the end of the round. Now, currently we don't have Shaun's character in the activity, so I think we should probably add him, because it's unlikely that Shaun would just stay out of a fight, wouldn't it? So,
absolutely.
PCs, Thaldron, character sheet. So, initiative. Okay, so I'm going to reorder these to account for the fact that he's in now. But I'm also going to make the attack he's missed on that turn. We'll assume he was just holding it. So he knows he's been shot from outside, but he also knows that there are pirates inside. I think he's liable to, playing like Shaun, try and deal with the guy that might come through that window. So he's going to go to the window and try and open this guy's gizzard. So Thaldron to the window, and his deadliest weapon would be his pinpoint psychic weapon. Do you think he's going to spend the round? I think he'll have already cast that. Yeah. So let's make a roll from prior to the attack when you were defending to see if he'd managed to get that up and running. And he hadn't. Okay. So he's had to rely on his probably his pinpoint rapier instead. So he has, I think, just missed the pirate. Yeah, he has. So he's like thrust the rapier through the window towards the pirate that shot at him, but unfortunately for him, he has missed. He's then going to take a defensive stance. And we start the next round with pirate number 18. Well, the pirate is on 18. So it's the one over here who was shooting through the window. Now he can still try and hit Myval, but he's going to suffer that -3 penalty. Let's just see. Nah. So as a shot just hits the wall of the temple next to where Myval's hiding. And next up we have whoever this is. Oh, it's Shaun's character. So Shaun's character is going to have another go. So Thaldron with a rapier. That's a hit. That's a hit, and that's 6 stunned points. So, what stunned points do you think Shaun's liable to have gone for with 6?
Whichever ones are the most damaging.
That would be fatal blow, or lethal blow rather, for 5.
Well, when you say most damaging, he generally goes for like a combination that gives him the most attacks, and
that's true.
And spreads the damage. Like, he gets more damage from multiple attacks than he would from one big one.
In this instance, he won't, because you can go all the way for lethal blow, which would be 2d6.
Right.
Because the weapon he's using as a rapier. If he made a second attack with a rapier, the second attack would only be 1d6 plus 1. So I think he's going to go for lethal blow and skirmish.
Yes.
Yeah. So he's going to lethal blow the guy. So he gets, this is the standard damage with the pinpoint accuracy. And then he's also going to get to add 2d6. So that's Ooh, that's 17 points of damage. So this guy that's attacked him through the window, he thrust his rapier through and the guy dodged, and then the guy's come back round to try and get in, and the rapier's gone straight through the guy's throat and killed him instantly.
Wow.
Lovely.
And that's him down. That's the first blood drawn by your team, and it is an enemy to go next.
At the top of my lungs, in the name of the Sea Lord, leave this holy place.
Okay, I'm going to give you that as a free action.
Oh, thank you.
You yell at them all to leave this holy place. I think that might be worth a contested their willpower, courage versus your communication.
Persuasion?
Persuasion, yeah. Their willpower, courage. So let's see. Oh, everybody's rolling badly on this one. So you got a total of 11. They got a total of 9. Shit.
Wow. Wasn't expecting that.
Right. So some of them start to. I don't feel happy about attacking an holy place of the Sea Lord. We spends our life on the sea. The others are like, get in there and stuff them. How are you? They're just a bunch of raiders. The Sea Lord's not going to care for them any more than they care for me. So, you got 3 on your...
The faithful one was Cornish.
Yes.
and the nasty one was Broad Durham.
Alright. So I'm going to say 3 of the pirates are going to run for it. Which was the... this guy is going to leave. This guy is going to withdraw. This guy is going to withdraw. And the others have been shaken by it, so the others are going to take -1 on their actions this round. So those 3 have run away. The others have decided that they're more afraid of their captain than they are of some nebulous concept of the deity protecting his temple, because they know he's not that much of an interventionist. However, that was a free action on your part, and you managed to get 3 enemy out of the fight. So what would you like to do?
Okay. To those who've shown that they have no reverence or respect to the Sea Lord, I draw Silverlight.
Right. Okay, so you draw Silverlight, which kind of thrums slightly.
Lighting it is a free action.
Yeah, so it bursts into a sort of bluish white light along its length.
And this guy here.
Yeah.
Now I can make a stunt attack, can't I?
You can. Bear in mind, if you fail, then nothing happens. If you succeed, you don't do any damage. You get 2 stunt points instead.
Plus whatever stunts I roll, or just
plus
2 stunt points?
Plus whatever
dead?
stunts you roll. Yeah.
Right.
So you could get up to 8.
Okay. With 2 stunt points, would that be sufficient to skirmish him into the water?
It would be sufficient to skirmish him right up against the wall of the pool.
Okay.
Actually, no, wait a minute. Isn't skirmish 2 meters per wall? Yeah, it's enough to skirmish him into the water.
That's what I want to try to do.
Right, okay, go for it.
So I just roll as normal,
You
but
just
with that
roll
stated action.
Yes, that's right.
Right.
And if you succeed, that happens instead of your damage. If you succeed with stunts, you can also apply the other stunts.
Right. Did that roll?
It did roll, and you only got a 7, I'm afraid.
Oh, good gravy.
So you start lunging into your attack against this pirate who just casually sidesteps your first blow, parries your second, knocks your third one aside, and instead of your flurry of blows driving him back with your savagery, he's just easily fending off your attacks.
Yeah.
You do have a minor action left if there's anything you would like to do for a minor.
Okay. I couldn't have done anything more to up my chances there, could I? Just thinking for next time.
Not that I can think of off the top of my head, no.
not like going all out or anything, like sacrificing defense.
Yeah, you could have done actually all out or a charge. Or you didn't have room to charge.
No.
Yeah, an all out attack would have done. Yeah.
Hmm.
You can combine that with a stunt attack, so you could have done that.
Try that next time.
Yeah.
We've used both traps.
Yep.
I'll take up a defensive position in front of Myval.
Okie dokie. So next up, we have one of the pirates who's made it through. So they're going to use half of their movement to stand, and then they're probably going to attack. Well, he's going to move slightly as well, actually, because he's in danger of being surrounded here. So no, he's going to move down here, away from there, where he's fairly confident he can hold that area without being surrounded. He's going to attack Thaldron instead. So he gets short sword. That's a hit. So he's hit Thaldron for 6 damage. I should check and see if Thaldron's wearing any armor, really, shouldn't I? He is. So he shouldn't have taken the 3 points he took the last time. And he won't take 3 of this point, so I'll just not adjust it by the 6 he's taken here. So it's Myval to go. So he just kind of rolled, that guy rolled across the floor a bit, came up next to Thaldron, slashed him down the arm, and then it's Myval to go.
Trying to look as rabid and as terrifying as possible.
Right.
I am going to run around an enemy. Sorry, I realise you're trying to be defensive, and leap on this guy over here and do a bite whilst looking as scary as possible, which hopefully might intimidate this guy who's swinging from his foot even further.
It might, because, you know, raccoons can be quite vicious. Not this one, though, it would seem.
No, damn.
So, just as he's easily fending off an enemy, even with the +1 you get for him already being engaged, that's still only a 9. That's 3 points off being able to hit him. So he easily steps to the side as you leap to try and grab onto him. He just steps aside and you land in front of him with this, like, oh shit, grin on your face. So, pirate to go next, then which one? And it's this one over here, who's also going to stand up. And he's going to move nowhere near as far. He's just going to move to there and then attack Seaman Harold with his short sword, with his cutlass. And I think he's missed. 13, I don't know, is that a hit on one of your seamen? To be fair, I'm surprised we got this far without the tittering.
I was fine until Louise started.
Yeah, you can tell Jenny's not in this game because she'd gone more or less straight away the first time I said it.
12.
I believe that's a hit, yeah.
That's a hit. Right you are then. So, with a short sword, that is 3 damage. It's not great, like, is it? So the next...
We're not a combat group.
No, it's a miss. It's a miss.
Hey.
Remember, I gave them all a penalty for being unnerved about the attack. So yeah, he actually missed him. Huh? So that guy's the one that's been killed. So he's coming off the thing. So the next pirate is that one there, who's coming through that. Well, he's just going to cut his friend down. I'll get you. No, I'm upset. Ah! So instead of being strung up by his foot, this other guy is now flat on his back.
On the floor with a broken spine.
Dumbass. Just change the markers. There you go. So that was his major, minor, probably minor. He's going to attempt to attack reload Tom as his major action. So, short sword, remembering to take 1 off this time. Oh shit, that's not going to matter, is it? Okay, so he's plunged his sword into Oh, well, it's a cutlass, so he's slashed across real old Tom. He's also got 6 points of stunts. So he's going to do a knockback. The force of his blow is going to drive him back to there. But he's going to use another point to follow him. So he's sort of advancing and crash, crash, crash. So that's 4 points left of the stunts. He's going to do a dual strike and try and hit Seaman Harold as well. So let's do the damage to real old Tom first. So real old Tom has just taken 3 points of damage. Do the seamen wear any armour? They don't, do they?
Don't appear to, no.
Okay, so he's slashed real old Tom, and now he's also going to slash Harold for 6 damage. So Harold's taken a much worse blow there. It took him off guard because he didn't see the guy coming, and he's been slashed down the side. He's bleeding quite heavily from that. So the next pirate is this one, who also needs to stand up, which he's going to do, and then he's going to attack Harold as well. And -1 of that, so that's a 14. That's still a hit. Short sword damage is 8. So he's done 8 points to Harold, who's now on his knees, bleeding heavily from these 2 separate slashes, both of which are bleeding heavily. He's in an extremely bad way. You don't think he's going to live much longer. This guy is going to... He's noticed his friends died. He's also heard the thing about, like, it's a holy place. I think he needs another courage test. So target number 13. 13, so yeah. He's going to come charging through here into the fight, and he's going to go for real old Tom. It's +1 for charging, which balances out the -1 he got for being shaken, and he's missed. So it is this pirate here who's currently on the ground. So he's going to get himself off the ground and attack an enemy. Oh dear, right. That's a hit on an enemy with 6 points of stunts. So with the 6 points, he's going to lightning attack you for 3. And yeah, that's not going to help him a great deal. So he will do a mighty blow for 1, for 2 rather, and skirmish. So he's going to hit an enemy with such force, and an enemy staggers backwards to here, suffering 7 damage.
Okay.
And oh, I did a mighty blow, so there's another dice of damage to come.
Okay.
So it wasn't 7, it was 12 damage.
Okay.
That's quite a hefty blow, that one. Okay. 9. So it's this pirate here, who's currently fighting Myval, so he's going to step forward to reduce that choke point, but he's still going to be fighting Myval. So he's going to take a short sword to a raccoon. 13? Sorry, 12?
That's a miss.
That's a miss. So he slashes at you, and you just duck underneath it and go as he's slashing wildly. And that's another round of combat ended. So up next we have Thaldron, who's going to try and finish this pirate off the way he did with the first one. So Thaldron is going to attack with his rapier. He's going to do an all-out attack, actually. Whoa! Right! didn't really need to do the all-out attack. With 6 points of stunts, he is going to skirmish himself into a new position, but he's also going to do an extra dice of damage. Actually, no, he can do lethal. So he's going to do an extra 2 dice of damage. So pinpoint damage from the rapier is 7 plus an extra 2 dice of damage. 10. So that's 17. So he just runs this guy straight through the stomach. As the guy topples forwards, you see Thaldron just puts his boot on his face and pushes him over. And the guy bleeds out on the ground as Thaldron spins round, his half cape billowing behind him as he comes rushing in to assist the rest of the crew who are getting a bit of a kicking over here. Okay, so an enemy to go. What would you like to do?
Question: does the Sea Lord accept blood sacrifices?
No.
Okay, just checking, because we've got some recent corpses here. I could look across, grab one, make an offering, and possibly get one of these guys. I don't know.
This is Blue Rose. Remember, you're supposed to be the shining.
Oh, right. Okay.
Yeah, so that's...
You said, it's a real kind of whiplash effect, kind of going from Dragon Age to this.
Yeah, definitely.
From other games as well.
It's quite a large step, isn't it? From I mean, I generally do very dark stuff, but I mean, you do get dark stuff in Blue Rose, but the characters are very much supposed to be the shining Arthurian style of hero. Yeah. So praying to a god that accepts blood sacrifices would be a bit out.
True.
Yeah. Anyway,
the thing
sorry.
Is, I did get that like a few sessions ago.
Last session and the one before, I think. Right.
But there have been gaps in between, so it kind of fades into the background of my mind, and the default position of gamers does tend to be very dark.
It does, doesn't it?
Like by any means necessary kind of thing.
Yeah.
So this is a really good role-playing exercise.
Yeah.
It worked last time, so again, I will state, look how many of you have fallen to the servants of the Sea Lord in this place of faith. Be gone.
Okay, I'm going to call it a minor action this time because it's a little bit longer and there is a chance you will chase some out. So let's have a persuasion test against their courage. And if you win, then a number of enemies equal to your stunt dice will have decided enough's enough.
Radio?
Oh, shit. Because I rolled 7.
Aha!
So you're in with a chance here. You've rolled
6.
You've rolled 16, so 6 of them have decided enough's enough.
That's what I'm saying. 6 of them are going.
Aye. So I'm going to start at the back because the ones at the back are the ones that are easiest to get shot of. So there's easiest to escape. I mean, so this one's going to run off in this direction through there. So that's 1. Let's take. I think we'll go with any of theirs that are injured next. None of theirs appear to be. So we will go with... there's one that is. So 2. Probably 3. The guy who's been hung up by the boot heels. 4. Shit, that's most of them now, actually.
Yeah. So the rest will probably need a morale test.
Yeah. Okay, so
They've suffered casualties, like gruesome deaths. They've had a crisis of faith. They've been made to fall back.
Yeah. Okay, so I will have the others make a morale test as well. So that's that was your minor action though. So you've still got a major action to go if you'd like one.
Considering how well that worked, can I move and talk?
Yeah.
Okay. Moving to here. Facing them. Unless you wish to suffer, for your entire crew to suffer and be drowned by the wrath of the Sea Lord, take yourself hence from this holy place.
Okay, give me another communications test. Yeah, I don't think they're falling for it this time.
You sure?
Yeah, I'm giving them a bonus as well because they've shrugged this off twice, so that would take them up to 18. You've got in 18. Okay,
18.
So I'm going to stay still shaking. I'm going to give them that -1 penalty again this round, but they're not going to fall for this.
Glowing sword.
Glowing sword. You see, that does make you look like the. I'll give them actually, I think they'll pull back and go get help because there are a shitload more pirates yet, and they're going to be a lot less afraid of you once the captain's here. So yeah, I think they kind of cautiously run off, watching you as they go, sort of pulling backwards. They get about halfway up the road and then turn and run. Out the windows, you can see the pirates that are streaming away from the battle back towards the second landing boat, where they're being laughed at by the pirates who were protecting the thing. So you've got this nasty feeling that the ones from the second boat, who had been left to guard the two boats, might come after you soon. But you also notice one of them signalling the ship, and it's signalling back.
Right, here's an idea. They've all been chased off.
Yeah.
If we're not here by the time they come back mob-handed,
yeah,
they might very well start to infight amongst themselves. They were right here.
Yeah.
They were right here. There was a guy with a glowing sword and a raccoon that attacked me and gone.
We need to heal Harold, though.
Right, okay.
I think that's an extremely good idea.
Right.
That might actually work, because pirates are not renowned for hanging together. So does somebody want to make a heal check on Harold?
On it.
You don't have long, because they're gonna. You can actually see another launch heading towards the thing now, and you can see somebody standing in the middle. You can see like two people standing in the middle. One's a woman with her hands on her hips, and the other's a man standing next to her with his staff in his hand, like a massive major staff. Yeah.
Yeah, this is
magic user.
Yeah.
Ouch time.
Yeah. Bye.
Yeah.
Lovely meeting you.
I think the better part of Valor.
Unfortunately, you failed the healing test as well.
Oh shit.
Oh no.
So, you're going to have to be mostly carrying this badly injured man with you. So you guys start, are you escaping by land, or are you going to try and escape underwater, knowing that two of you can breathe water easily and two of you might well drown?
The fate of one will be the fate of all.
Yeah, I was going to say, we're going to have to go over land, really, because, like, yeah.
Okay. So you more or less, you've got like a person either side of Harold holding them up. It's not going to be Myval, obviously, because like you couldn't really get Myval's paw around Harold's shoulders. So he's kind of dragging his feet. He's half dead. He's barely conscious.
Conspicuous by his absence, has that elemental gone back to sleep?
Oh, the elemental didn't take part in that at all.
I know.
Yeah.
Has he gone back to sleep is what I'm wondering.
You don't know.
Exactly. I'm wondering in character.
Yeah.
I was thinking, once they refused to leave in the name of the Sea Lord and attack the servants of the Sea Lord, that he would sort of come rushing to the rescue.
Yeah, you might be over. You might be expecting a bit much from. Basically, I wouldn't say non-interventionist deity, but like, yeah, just expecting them to come to your rescue.
Well, the elemental that got himself.
The elemental was there, so but it might have just been a little bit like I might have needed a little bit more than just like, hey, these guys are attacking us. Would you mind helping? You're not sure. It could be that. Could be something else. Anyway, as you guys start making your way out up the pathway, keeping to as much cover as possible. Myval scampering ahead, trying to look for any oncoming threats. You and Thaldron dragging, more or less. Harold, you know you need to find somewhere to hide and heal him up because he's in an extremely bad way. In a meta game sense, he has one health point left.
Quick thought.
Yeah.
There are more launches coming towards us, and there is an angry-looking woman with her arms folded and a guy with a mage's staff.
Yes.
And they're coming towards us.
No, they're coming towards the landing point where all the other pirates are gathering.
Okay, they're coming to, but they're leaving the ship.
Yeah.
Right. Message to the Chanterelle. The pirate ship is on a skeleton crew. Take your pick your time for when all of the brass, like officers and what have you, and majority of the crew are on land, and then either scuttle it or take it.
Well, the Chanterelle's on the different side of the island.
Right.
So
they're on the other side of the island, and I've just told them that the crew is made of skeletons.
Yes. They're on the other side of the island, whereas the launch is only
Yeah, right there.
It's right there. It's within the sight. There's no way they can get back and launch an attack and do all of that without people in the launch just getting back on board.
Fair enough.
Okay, so anyway, you're dragging Harold to safety, looking for somewhere you can hide long enough to try and heal the grievous wounds he's taken during the defence of the temple. The pirates are beginning to mass again on the beach. The ones that ran away have now been laughed at enough by their friends that they are determined to get back into a fight and prove their mettle. Meanwhile, their captain and her mage are coming, and they're a shitload more frightened of her and him than they are of you. And that is where we'll leave it till next week.
Before I forget, I'm turning the light off on my sword.
Yes, probably a good idea.
Trying to hide with that thing, not a good idea.
Yeah. So thank you very much for coming to the game today. Sorry that Shaun couldn't make it, but as you know, because he made it into the call long enough to tell us he wasn't feeling well. As you know, he just wasn't up to it today. So I hope you guys have enjoyed it anyway.
I really have, definitely.
Good. Thank you to everybody at home who watched the episode. I hope you've enjoyed it also. Do stay safe, take care. We'll see you again next time on Her Majesty's Chanterelle, where we find out if our fleeing party can avoid the search parties of these angered pirates. Good night from us.
Good night.